you,
Thank you.
Sati-Gatë. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
Could you describe your first meeting with Bapu?
My first meeting with Bapu was when I came to work my first time with Sabuti, and I came here as a dorje, Drilbu, and he just came down from the stairs, and Sabuti told me, so this is Bhapuji, Tisziji, Muñoz, my husband, time master. At the time, I didn't know what that meant, and I had to ask Sabuti again, what is his name again? But that was my first, I crossed eyes with him, and I just felt very calm presence. I just felt immediately close, like just very, like I had been here for always. And then we started talking with Sabuti and Bhapuji there in the big room there. And everything we would be talking about just made total sense. It's just everything. I would start saying something, talking. They asked me about where I came from, my background, and a few things, basic, just getting to know each other. And everything that I would talk about, music or more spiritual or psychic resonances. The word that Bapu would choose were exactly, he would finish my sentences, yes, that exactly. And then I also listened to some of his music then. Maybe I would talk about that later with the music. But basically that was my first meeting, and it was just so liberating. That day I just felt like everything in my life it's like I could breathe again. I could breathe. And it's like it was a total rebirth, I think. I just felt like after a whole explosion or something, a volcano phase, it's just all right. And it changed. I know that something changed that day, definitely. That's it.
And in this meeting, was it something you heard in his speech or in his presence?
So definitely his presence. He had these moments. That was my first time I was, looking at him and feeling the energy. How he can be very silent and, just look around. I would say the presence at first. And then definitely the speech after, yeah, the confirmation, yeah. And then the music even more. Yeah.
Was there anything different about Bapu that you could comment on? Was he a different man or a different being?
Beyond man, I guess, yeah, different being. Just that very steady energy, very here, and definitely a different type of anything that I had been in presence with. And it just felt very close. It just felt very much in resonance with something in me somewhere inside that could never really be realized, or I never really acknowledged it or thought it was crazy. But then, I just felt this was true. Yeah.
And have you been exposed to Bapu's teaching word? And if so, how has that affected you? And if you have been reading any of his books or not?
His words definitely. He has this flow when he talks, and definitely the books. I started here, that first meeting here, Bappu was so generous with giving me some material, in a sense of his material, freely, everything very free, from his heart, very generous. A few, the first basic books, Spirit Path, Heart Blood, and a few others, and a few CDs, Beauty as Beauty, and then Beauty as Ugly, so mixed up a little bit, and that's actually the music that I listened to then, that first meeting with him. And yes, I consider definitely, and further on then I got Fire. So the Heart, I haven't finished, I'm still reading. The Heart Fire sound just made, liberated me even more, next level. That's how I feel every time I'm reading. It just confirms or brings me back to the teaching and the centeredness and just the reality of it, of it. So definitely the words, and when he talks, for sure, it's even more powerful for me because there's the energy, it's the presence there. I definitely feel a huge heart, which to me is beyond the words. So that's, there's repetition, but it's always put when it has to be put. There's always a timing. Bappu always knows what he's doing, even though you think he, or you are not aware maybe, but he afterwards, when you just think about it again, he knew. He told this at that moment, not at that moment, and it was very specific. So yeah, so very scientific in a sense, pragmatic. For such transcendence, which is paradox, but it's the whole teaching.
Okay, so now in terms of his music, now that you've heard his music, what do you make of his musical expression and or level of communication through sound?
And that's that's that first meeting. When we started talking about music, that was exactly what I knew. That was something I was searching for. I came from a classical structure background, and when he would be talking, and what I heard in his music then was there was no scales, there was no pattern in a sense. Known. It was not created. It was creative. It was original. It was just now and just something else, and never, always different. There's no limits of where you can go, and so that, and I remember telling him, yes, that's it. Like I always felt there's a thin line between what we have the program, the structure, and we are still, we think we're being original, but we're still in that program. And then when the sounds just come from that pure energy, that pure heart, which is that rawness. I love this radicalness. That's what I loved that first day. I was like, yes, because this is true. And really what I hear in his music, and what I always really, tried or was going for really on my path in music, really, was that music wasn't music. It was actually sounds. It was actually the cries. I can hear now the cries of people laughing. I can hear the silence. I can hear it's humans. It's life. It's like a pure concentrated of very intense of everything that is going on, laughter, tragedies, and that's what it should be. Music should not be music. It should be sounds that finally, you recognize it because it's what is going on with us as human beings, or even beyond. And with him, it goes beyond. It's cosmic, and you know that, it's energy-wise. it's that intense, which I know helps, I've heard, helps people, heal in a sense, because it's so intense that it burns. It burns you and you're done. And you can't, it burns anything that you started in your head. It's like, and you just have to start from zero hard space. I feel that totally. Like, it's just, you were here and it's there. It's the void. Yeah.
And have you heard his music live, and how did it affect you?
I heard him once for now. It was great. I mean, it was the best for me. I mean, me personally, I always liked the live music more than recorded, actually, which is good because some of his CDs are live. It's not just, studio recordings. Even though I know in studio recordings, there's no preparation. But the live, being there, I just felt so very connected. I just felt the huge power of love. I just felt like a cosmic, just infinite. It just I don't know, it's hard to describe. Talking directly to your soul, and it's like anything, you're feeling a release, total release of any tension that you had, with a very gentle, at the same time fierce, very ferocious sound, very direct, but straight to the point, which is the heart.
Mm-hmm. And do you have an understanding of what Bhapu is doing with sound?
Yes, I think so. I think what I was saying before was, I was starting to talk about like, it is helping people in a sense. It's really, to me, and I think that's what he means really, it's not the music, it's spirit, heart first, meaning he as a spirit, he's a channel of all these energies, and it's healing. He's so in tune with the room where he is, or the people in that room, or in general, just the universe. He's so open that he can feel all these energies from very far distance, even planetary, all that. He's that, high frequency person. That's why I think music is his natural, way conductor, the most direct that he uses to reach people, and maybe, help them. And I think that's his, the way, his medium to do that. I think that's how I feel.
Do you feel it has been useful or beneficial for you to know Bhapu and his work?
Yes. I mean, until now, until I met Bhapu, I had all these intuitions, but I was alone. I was lonely. Not alone, lonely in the sense of, I must be crazy, because all around me, I didn't, even people that were a little bit spiritual, a little bit this, a little bit that, it was never true to the sense of the real. And Bhapu is, to me, I found the real. I found the, he's helping me to stay, connected to the true, which is my higher, higher connections and higher states, the subtle, what is not seen, what in general in this world is not really acknowledged. But to me, I think I always had the sense that I had something to do with that. So I had to be on that path, and definitely Bhapu with the spiritual and, the sound, of course, eventually, I think, are just like I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed to even have been in this place and being able to practice here. I could not do it without this help and this guidance, even though it is very individual and there's a lot of freedom here. It's not, nothing is put on me. It's me. It's my will. But it's definitely a guidance and, daily protection, actually. I would say protection and strengthening spiritually. So without this presence, I would have just gone through my life with, just thinking that I'm crazy and just maybe doing a few things, but with a lot of pain, I think, a lot. And now all this karma is really reducing, and I'm really reaching deeper and deeper, and I'm so grateful. Yeah.
And what is your experience of Bapu as a time master?
So that's interesting because I didn't know, like I was saying, when Sabuti that first day told me, this is when she presented me, Bhapuji, Tisziji, Muñoz, he's a time master, and she asked me directly, first thing, what is, your sign or your time of birth, because, it's interesting. So I went with the flow because I was always very open to all this astrology stuff, but I had no clue what that meant, time master. And then I got my reading of time mastering from Bapu, and it's very enlightening because it's so precise, and now I'm really more aware of, how the time of my birth and all that, the configuration of the planets really determined a few things about, what I should know of what, at this time period, this is happening. So to be aware of it, I have found a very, and that's different in regular astrology. This is what I like here with time mastery is that Bapu did this reading for me so that I can actually, it empowered me really to not be a victim of, oh, this is who I am. No, this is what I have to work on. This is all the energies that are going through me or through my time now, and then, and become, a master of this, and really, it's like a guideline, basically, I would say, of my life, and very helpful tool, and definitely good to know that all this is because of this influence of these planets. It's not me. It's not. It is me because I was born at that time, but it's my time. It's not me. So me, I can learn to now be aware of it. That's the whole thing here is to be mindful of all these changes, these transformations, and that at the end everything is positive. If you decide to practice, if you really practice and you're aware of this, then that's good. So I'm on this path.
What do you make of the spirituality of Bapu?
What do I make of his spirituality?
Or how do you feel with it?
What I like is that it's not spirituality. When in this world we talk about, this guy is spiritual or this or that. I would say that with Bapu, it's more like it's real. It's just real and raw, and it's very rigorous, but it's so caring. It's so caring that it melts your heart. It's not. It softens it, but it strengthens it in a sense. I know that a big thing that one thing he has told me that I always remember is, it's melting your mind, then your heart expands so a heart expanding and the mind melting. So I really like that because, we have this logical mind, and that is so limited, really. But it has control over us, really. And this whole practice, spiritually with Bhapu, I feel is really melting this down so the heart expands, and with the heart you can reach much higher levels. So, finding that glow, that light, that is so much more, powerful and beautiful, and, that compassion type of heart, not the street heart, like he said, higher heart, big heart, huge heart, super heart. And then find the super mind, which is not the logical, conceptual mind, which is limited. So that would be the process, I guess.
And you have been asked to sit with Bhapuji in training, and how has that been for you? Is it making a difference in your life?
Yes, definitely. And I would say, especially with the awareness of my body, because, of course, and I guess for a lot of people, the first tension and stress comes, to the body, or, and just learning how to release and how to breathe, and just find that calm as a center. I mean, I remember the first few times that I did sit like that and breathe and chant a little bit. I felt like I was at that place that was so real. I just felt so connected to just everything, but in a very impersonal way. So this practice sitting is, I'm really learning that detachment, but that beautiful compassion from that. So that all starts from the inside, inside out, not having all the outside coming in, but inside being so here. And it's huge because it's infinite. You can feel the infinite in you when you're sitting and you're really truly breathing and in tune within. And, transcending the self, the thought, the mind, that you are, oh my gosh, I remember, there's a few times when I get to that state where you truly want to bow, like there's no ego anymore. It's just, you feel so much power. So much, it's so huge. Like, we never think about that every day. We just have coffee or whatever, tea, and we just do our things. But to me, that I know we talked about that with him also one sitting about, the moment before death of, so many people, going to see, that there's that, experience that people have just before dying, and sometimes they wake up and stuff. I think feeling that infiniteness of the universe, and that would be the true, and that would something that we can experience before these few seconds before we die. So to me that's a thrill in a sense that is so true and real. It's that real that we're always running away from, and it's so subtle that it's very easy to forget about it because, we're so busy. But, to me, there's nothing more important. It's just, and I'm finding this, and now that I've tasted the sitting, it just feels so true. It just feels so, released and just being. Yeah.
Thank you. That's all my questions. So if there was anything else you wanted to add, it's fine.
I'm just very happy to be here, and I feel just, very blessed, and I hope I can give I can give this back in a sense and help at one point other people when I get stronger. I don't know in which shape or form, but for now, I'm practicing, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, even just now, I'm just really so happy. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.